broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 246 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, with co-host Zach Carlson. This is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, tri-weekly host, Jake?
It's hard, old habits. I mean, went years and years with it being a weekly podcast, and now it's, whenever we get to it. Sorry, but thanks for listening. So Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. You can check out the Patch of the Month Club. Actually sold out of the September Patch of the Month, so if you got one, you're pretty lucky. And looks like October's going quick too, so if you want to sign up for the Patch of the Month Club for an exclusive patch, sticker, and artwork card delivered to your mailbox every month, check out patriotpatch.co. Also have some cool new aluminum signs for your gunroom man cave. Have I'm Your Huckleberry and Luke 2236. And then the Circle of Life sign is back in stock finally. And then we also have the 4 Rules of Gun Safety sign. So all those are at patriotpatch.co. Zach, you got any new YouTube videos up?
You know, I've got 2 in the queue that I need to push through that I put up there, but I haven't gone through and done all the descriptions.
Last time.
I said that last time. Yeah, that reminds me. I respond to comments, but that's about it. I hadn't really done a lot, but.
Okay. So it looks like we both went shooting here.
Yeah, we did. What did you shoot?
So you want to do me first? Okay. So
sure.
One huge thing for me is I put together this, plate rack that I've had forever. Got it way back when I think, it was for This Week in Guns that got sponsored by Action Target years ago. And they sent this, big, it's like a big plate rack you'd see at the, a professional size one at the range. Super heavy duty, all laser cut and everything, and really a nice setup. And it always lived at my dad's house, and I never got down there very often to shoot it. And I was like, oh, finally have my own place. I'll be able to put this up and shoot it. And then it's a year and a half later by the time I get it put up, and I lost one of the plates for it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I only got 5 plates for it. I'm like, did this get lost in the move? Or, because it's not just a circle. It's like a circle with like a shape,
a tab on it, right?
Yeah. Like this tab cut out of it. So it indexes with the, it's all proprietary. You can't just, sure, maybe I could order another one from them, special order or something. Anyways, it was sitting next to my shop, so I was digging through the weeds and stuff there, and like when I put it there, it's like all gravel and nice, but of course I didn't spray that the last 2 years, so it's all grown up. But I found it, so I got it all put together, and it's a beast. I mean, I use the forks on my tractor to lift it up and put it together and then drive it over to where I sat it, because it weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds, because the whole thing is super thick steel, not just the plates. So anyways, I got that set up, and it's really pretty nice to have a plate rack, then I can go shoot pistol now. And that's what I did. So I did all that today, actually. I shot, my carry gun, which reminds me, I need to reload that with self-defense ammo. I got ball ammo in it now. But I shot some of the new, self-defense rounds that I found for that. And I think I mentioned before what they were. I don't have them in front of me, but those all ran fine. So that's good. I'll keep carrying those because they're cheap, or cheaper than what I was carrying. Like half the price. And then I shot some, ball through the I'm still carrying the Springfield 4.0, 45 XDS, and, I can shoot it really well. I mean, it does seem kind of like a dated gun to me at this point though, because there's so many smaller options, in like that footprint format on the market right now. And even, specifically double stack options in that same pretty much layout. So,
but it's dated because it's 45, right?
Well, I mean, 2 world wars.
Yeah. Okay, boomer.
I mean, the 45, I don't know. It's just cool to carry 45. Come on.
Okay, you carry whatever you want.
Anyways, so I'm still gonna, of course you can't find a new handgun anywhere now, so I'm not even gonna look for one. Other things I shot was the Glock MOS that I put that, Opticon. We talked about that too. The Holosun, right? You probably know the model. I don't.
507K, I think.
Yeah.
507C. 507C.
Okay. That's
the full size.
Sure. Yep. That sounds right. That worked great. And I mean, man, a red dot can really give you kind of an overachieving sense of what your abilities actually are.
Yeah.
Because, you can really get thinking you're hot stuff with a red dot. But it's a lot of fun. I put a lot of rounds through that. I shot I found this old Federal I had I think it was Federal. It's the USA made steel case. So shot a bunch of that. And then,
don't you know there's a pandemic with ammo right now, and you're shooting up all this ammo?
I know. I left all my brass. I left all my brass out there too. There's going to be homeless people out there digging through my yard.
This is the ultimate privilege right here.
So I shot both 1022 builds. I got them both put together. If you listen, you can go back and listen to previous episodes where Zach and I talked at length about the Enoch chassis and everything for the 1022s. So there's a short version, long version. What are the names, Zach?
The Deep Six and the Odin.
So the Odin is a smaller one. And we talked about how I finally got that build put together with that 6-inch kid barrel, and everything worked flawlessly and seemed good to go. And I put the Holosun whatever rifle optic on it. I don't
remember which one you put in there. Smaller one, like the aim point style one.
Yeah,
I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyways, that is I shot it again, and it's got the SB tactical brace on it and everything. And it's just beautiful. I mean, it just works great, and it just feels right. I mean, just feels perfect for that kind of a build. So I think I kind of stumbled upon, after a few tries, what I actually wanted in that type of build. So I think that's really what I was looking for in this whole, experiment of flushing a bunch of money down the toilet for 1022 parts.
So what are you going to do with all the other ones then? You got 2 other ones, right?
So I built the Deep Six one, the longer one, and it's got that real long shawl barrel. I think that's the name.
10.5-inch barrel, right?
Yeah, and then it's got a 2-inch compensator on top of that. And then I actually went to put on the extended mag release that kind of wraps around the trigger guard, and it doesn't work with the chassis system that takes a AR grip. It just doesn't work.
Does it get too far back around the curvature of the trigger guard?
It installs and everything, but you can't grip it. You can't grip it right.
Because you need a finger to go behind it, right?
Right. And and so it really doesn't seem to function right either in that setup. So it's just, so I had to take that all back off, and I'm like, oh, what a waste of time. But it wasn't really a waste of time because I got it put together and it shoots. I didn't shoot it with a brace. I shot it without, and I put a crap tactical Chinese red dot on that I've had forever and ever. It's like an airsoft red dot or something. I just threw that on, but it worked. And it functioned good. All that's good to go. So both of these are good to go now. I'm really excited about that. But this is just such a big, heavy behemoth for a pistol. I mean, you got to put the brace on it to shoot it, I'm thinking, but even then, I'm not really.
Were you having a bipod on it or something?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, maybe put a bipod on it, and just
something I could think of. Maybe a brace and a bipod.
I'm thinking maybe going that route and see how the kids like shooting it from a bench or something. Other than that, I don't really know what to do with it.
I don't see the use case with that heavy of a profile of a barrel. It's just, I think that's going to be a killer part of it.
I mean, I think it must have been built for some kind of old man bench shooting of Chargers, I guess, which is kind of what the Charger originated as, was like an old man bench gun, but it's evolved.
Before the braces. Yeah. Remember before braces were out, they were just literally pistols, like wood stock pistols with a bipod, and they gave you the bipod in the box. Yeah.
And so the third one I have is the Charger that has the more modern stock, and that came with a UTG bipod or something. But it's got the Picatinny on the back of it for a brace and everything. But I'm short one receiver, so I need to get, actually, I'm pretty sure I have the trigger pack and everything. I just need to get one receiver to build that out. Or I might just take apart that long shawl build and just sell pieces off of that. I don't know. I've got a lot of money in it. I might just do that at this point, because I'm kind of over doing any more builds for, at least in the 22s. For
yeah,
right
I think if it was me, I think I would dump that barrel and put the Ruger stuff either in the Ruger chassis or in the Enoch chassis, and have 2 Enochs, or sell one of those Enochs as well.
I might sell the Enoch. I don't know. That Ruger branded, Charger chassis with the pick on the back is just great. I mean, that's not quite as good as the Enoch, Odin, but pretty, for the money, it's just fantastic.
It's probably lighter, wouldn't you think? Since it's plastic instead of aluminum.
There's a lot of plastic there, though.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I should weigh them. That's a good point. That won't take much to do a weight comparison.
What are you getting out of the Enoch? You're just getting the M-LOK slots in the front, really, right? I mean, it's
and it looks so much better. It's so, it's cool. Like, that build is just cool. And you can't say that about if I did all that, the same stuff with the Ruger, it just wouldn't have that cool factor.
Yeah. Somebody posted on my YouTube video about the Enoch chassis and said something about it's a shame that the owner of Enoch is a super racist or something like that. And I don't know. I asked hey, well, link me to what you're talking about. I've never heard this before. But he never came back. So I don't know what the deal there is. I don't know if he is a super racist or.
Well, they're based in Tennessee.
Not like a Superman, but
They're based in Tennessee. It must be racist. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I don't know, but, coincidentally, I sold my Enoch.
You sold it? What?
Yeah, I did. It's funny. One door closes, one door opens, right? Yeah, I just kept looking at it, and I just kept looking okay, it is a cool gun. It was really cool. But when you have a machine gun 1022, that's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
It didn't fit any use case for me. So I had the machine gun, and then I had my 16-inch heavy barreled, bench gun. So I had both my 1022 kind of avenues covered. So I looked at it and I got $1,000 for it. So I thought that was pretty good. So
that's not bad. Wow.
Yeah. So whatever. I sold it, and it's on its way down the street. So yeah.
I bet that's all because he heard about all the hype on it on Gun Guy Radio. And he's like, oh my God, this is the perfect thing.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I can actually get one. Well, it must have been just because you could actually get it now.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I seem to be going in the opposite direction that I need to be going. I sold my night vision, and now there's a pandemic and riot season and election season going on.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I probably should have had that. And then, I actually did sell another gun today too. I sold a CZ Scorpion my suppressed Scorpion.
What? Why?
It didn't really happen I didn't have it for sale. It just sold. It was a coworker at work, his brother just bought a Scorpion, and he's like, oh, I watched all your videos, and I was using your videos as a template to buy all the parts that I was doing. And I was like, oh, why did you do that? Why don't you just buy mine? And I said it jokingly. And then my coworker is like, I didn't know you would sell that. And I'm like, oh, everything's for sale. And he's like, well, I'll buy yours then. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, I totally will buy that for me. I'm like, okay. So here's the problem. And this is a perfect illustration of why gun laws are stupid. I'm a Washington resident. He's an Idaho resident. So we're across state lines.
Yeah.
The gun is on an approved Form 4 tax, a stamp. So I already paid my $200. That thing is done. It's in a trust. It's on a single shot trust. So in a perfect world, I would just add him to my trust and then remove myself from the trust. Now he's the owner of the trust, and now he can have this suppressor. Nope, can't do that. I can add him to the trust, but I can't take myself off.
What?
So there's never that, at least with a single shot trust. I'm not saying all trusts are this way, but the single shot trusts from Silencer Shop are this way. So, we called his dealer in Idaho, and he said, if the buyer sets up a trust, you can do a trust to trust interstate transfer, no problem. I said, okay, sounds good. So I called Silencer Shop to get that trust set up, and they're like, oh, you may or may not be able to do that. well, that wasn't very confidence inspiring from the company that is like known as the leading, premier silencer companies about that. So we called the NFA branch of the ATF, which actually was surprisingly pleasant for what I was expecting. Although I was definitely on speakerphone, and the lady had like one of those old school mechanical keyboards that you could hear that was closer to the phone than her face, so you hear her typing. And then, it was very annoying, but she said, no, that's no go. You have to go through a dealer. So to do this transfer that I've already paid $200 on, we have to initiate another Form 4 from me to the dealer in Idaho. So there's another $200 tax stamp. And then when it gets there, then it has to go to another Form 4 from the dealer to the buyer. So there's an extra $400 in this whole process just because
it's freaking extortion.
Goofy laws. Yeah, it's just so stupid. So what I ended up having to do is we went to the gun store and transferred the gun itself to him. So that's in his name. And then I added him to my trust. And so he can possess the suppressor legally while the first Form 4 goes through. And then once that goes through and the dealer has to take possession of it, then thankfully I kept the front half of the gun, the original front half, so we can swap the original barrel and handguard on it and then give the suppressor to the dealer while the next Form 4 clears. So it's such a pain in the butt. And it was just, everybody we looked at, it was just like, you're going to do what to do what? And I'm like, yeah, this is just how it is. Like, this is not our choice. It's just the way the laws are right now. So yeah, but it was during that whole process, I ended up going to a gun store. I haven't been to a gun store in a very long time. And this was a company, a place in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And it was a newer store, but I guess they owned like a couple stores in Washington, but then this was their first one over here in Idaho. And it was really nice. And it was actually well stocked. Like for what I thought, like they had full slat wall. It was like, a typical strip mall, narrow but long, retail setup. They had Holosuns in there, and I haven't seen a Holosun available from our distributors in quite a while. They had multiples there. It was kind of funny. They used grease pens on the front door that said like 5.56 out, 9mm out, or like and then 300 black. They like the common calibers. They just put a billboard on the door, but like, don't even come in. If that's all you're looking for, figure it out before you get in the door. And I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, but it was pretty cool. They had some ARs. They still had some shotguns. They had guns. They may not be a full suite of guns, but they were more stocked than I was expecting, just seeing what I see at distributors.
They had a lot of pistols, or?
Yeah, I think they're more leaning into either the high end that's where the stuff that's getting left is. Like I saw a guy, finger banging a gun in the counter there. That was a CZ Shadow, the orange grip one. I think that's the Acu Shadow or whatever, the more expensive one. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense why that's left. And then like there was CZ Brens on the wall, which are, $1,800, so there's a little bit of higher end stuff. I saw a Tavor on the counter, on the wall. So, just not, but there were a few ARs left as well. But, there was still some higher end stuff, but it was pretty cool. I was pretty excited. So I went from that and I drove by a gun show. So my buddy Dan was working at the gun show in Post Falls, and this was in Coeur d'Alene. They're nearby towns. So I was like, okay, I got to go right by it anyway. So I'll just go to the gun show on the way home. Yeah. I haven't been to a gun show in years either. And this gun show is set up in an old dog racing track. And it's in like the stadium seats where you watch all the dog, like the big alley up, or the lobby of that thing. And you open the door and what a Goodwill smells like,
How about like, what's worse than Goodwill?
Like a dollar store?
Yeah. Or like a Salvation Army store.
Yeah. Like a Salvation Army, basically like a grandma's basement kind of thing. Yeah. And it just kind of smelled funny. I was like, oh, that's not a good sign. And then I walked around and I just could not believe the prices things were going for. I saw a Bushmaster dissipator, the rifle length gas system, but, 16 inches. You ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about? It's got a rifle length handguard, but a short 16-inch barrel. So the front sight post is way pushed out, and it said 1 of 1,000 made. I'm like, well, yeah, that's probably because it didn't sell, but, he wanted $5,000 for this crappy old Bushmaster. And there's like Colts, old beat up Colts. Looked like they came out of the police trade-in rack. Like they were just beat to crap, wanting $2,000, $2,200. And I'm like, I paid that for a Knight's Armament brand new gun. Like, why would I do that for an old Colt? I don't know. Maybe they're worth it and I'm just being a curmudgeon, but I just looked at the stuff and I was like, I don't want to buy anything here. And there was just junk everywhere. But it's just like the ammo, like there was steel cased 5.56 ammo for over $1 a round.
Jeez.
I'm just like, what are you guys thinking? But I mean, it was wall to wall people in there. So somebody must have been buying. I mean, people were buying stuff. So I guess it is what it is. But, and then while I was right there, right across the freeway is Cabela's and Walmart. So I was like, all right, well, I'm right here. I don't ever come over here this far. So I'm going to go over to Cabela's, and Cabela's was hopping. They had a decent amount of guns out there too.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised. The handguns were definitely picked over. They were kind of all spread out in the display cases, you know. It was kind of like, oh, okay, you're just trying to fill this case up, but no ammo to be found. Like if you had a shotgun, you're fine, or
really?
like oddball hunting calibers, you had stuff, but anything common, it was just bare shelves there. And then I went over to Walmart, and same thing there. Anything common, gone. Oddball rifle calibers, you had a chance, but
Walmart doesn't even carry the ammo you want to buy anymore, right? They don't carry 9mm or. Oh,
they not? I don't know. I haven't been. That's the first time I've been to a Walmart in probably 2 years, 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely don't carry 223 5.56 anymore, and I don't think they carry any of the handgun rounds either anymore.
Well, it's weird because they had a 350 Legend in there, but that's an AR caliber. Well, I think, isn't it? Or no, is it? I don't remember now. Maybe it isn't.
I don't have any idea.
I don't either. But this Walmart was actually way nicer. It's in the Post Falls Walmart, and it was not like a Spokane, Washington one, and so it didn't look super sketchy. So I went to that one. But I did buy my kid toy guns. That was cool. Awesome. They had a bunch of toy guns. So I got an AR-15 that looks just like, kind of like mine, and it lights up and vibrates, and it has grenades and a tack vest and a knife, and it has an M9 pistol with a suppressor that screws on it.
Oh, I've got that same M9. It's awesome.
Yeah. I might have to take the batteries out of it pretty quick if it gets annoying, but.
Is that the one where you shoot it with the suppressor, it makes one sound, and you unscrew the suppressor, it makes another sound?
Yep. So, I think we're going to probably spray paint them later on. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. So that was my weekend of trying to sell a gun and travel all over to do paperwork, and to do the trust. Yeah, the trust paperwork is super easy, but you have to go to the bank or you have to go to a notary to notarize the signature pages and all that. So we had to go to the bank to do that, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but it was.
So when you're getting something notarized like that, they're like, you want to do what?
Thankfully, they just kind of looked and they didn't ask. They're just there for signatures. They're not looking at your documents really per se, but yeah, it was a whole packet I had to do.
Speaking of ammo, I was pulling out ammo to go shoot in the, backyard here, and I just have it's just awful. The assortment of 10-22 oddball ammo I have is just driving me crazy. So it's like it's like my mission now to shoot up all of these oddball boxes. It's driving me up the wall now.
I do the same thing. Like if there's like little orphan boxes that you don't have a big quantity of, because you don't want to, if you have only a couple boxes of ammo, like, a couple 50 round boxes of 10-22 ammo, it's not worth resighting in your gun for that, it's going to be a little bit different ammo to ammo. So that's what I'll sight in for the ammo that I'm going to shoot the most of. And then wherever the other ammo lands, it lands, and you just use that for burn up ammo.
Yeah, I mean, it's onesies, twosies, and like partial boxes, and it's just like a decade of 10-22 ammo that I bought at the last times that it was hard to come by, so I was just buying this oddball crap just to have it, and now I have all this oddball crap that is just driving me crazy, because right before all this pandemic nonsense with the ammo, I got, a few different cases of ammo, so like I'm pretty set on like flavors I like and have a lot of now, so I just need to get rid of this oddball stuff. But that's probably more like, ammo privilege speaking here. So,
well, based on what I saw this weekend, you can go just get a table at the gun show and they charge exorbitant amounts for that ammo. Somebody will buy it.
Not a bad idea. Too bad there's only a gun show around here once a year, but so
well, there you go. Pent up demand.
So I shot my last trap match of the year, and after recording that episode, I cut out part of our trap talk because I have no effing idea what I'm talking about. Just no clue. So if you want to know anything about shotgun trap shooting, go somewhere else.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. But I rounded out the season with that, and I'll probably shoot it next year, and I really need practice, that's for sure. And I switched out the choke because I realized I wasn't using a full choke in it. I was using like modified or something, and I did worse. So I might switch it back.
Full is tighter, right? And then it's modified as more open, right?
I thought it was the other way. I have no idea what I'm talking about with shotguns. Oh, so moving on, I guess I'll wrap up my shooting. So I set up that plate rack, and I set up this other freestanding target. It's like a 75% size IPSC target or something. Mm-hmm. So it's like a little tiny man steel target.
It's like shooting a midget.
Yeah. So I set that at about 50 yards, which is pretty hard to hit with a lot of things because it's so small. So so I was done shooting, and then I was walking around, I picked up some stuff, threw some stuff out, and then I walked down to where that little target was, and it's right against my neighbor's fence, and there's just a cattle field on the other side of it, just pasture on the other side of it. And I have permission to shoot across the property line into the berms over there and everything. It's really nice natural berms out there, and he even said I could set targets out there. I just haven't. So I had the target just on this side, and I was looking at his electric fence. I'm like, that looks like, that's crappy. Is that even working? And I'm like, oh, it's broken. How's that? I'm like, oh, I shot through it.
Well, there goes that neighborly love pretty quick.
Yeah.
Offer rescinded.
I'm like, holy crap. I got to record with Zach in a little bit. Now I got to fix this stupid fence that I didn't even think about shooting through. Cause it's just a barbed wire fence and then one string of electric, and it's not there. You look at it, it's just like mostly air you see. So you don't really think about the fence or shooting the fence. You're just thinking about what you might hit behind the fence, because it's not like a solid object or anything. It's soft covered or whatever. But
so you did like a trick shot, basically.
Basically, yeah, with probably 200 rounds, and one of them hit it. So that's pretty good. So I tried to fix it. And I have no idea how to shut this thing off. So I put 2 layers of rubber gloves on, and I'm out there trying to fix it. I still get shocked through 2 layers of rubber gloves. How does the science on that work? I don't understand. So I called my neighbor up. I'm like, hey, I shot through your fence. He's like, you did what? I'm like, I shot through your electric fence. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah, the guy that runs cattle out there is actually out there running the fence looking for why it's not working. But he thought it was hilarious. He just laughed at me. So he called.
How do you fix it?
He called him, and he actually shut it off. But I guess you can hook a grounding wire to it and then ground it out without shutting it off to fix it. But you gotta have a special grounding doohickey wire thing to hook to it. But they had actually already shut it off and came and fixed it. And I know them a little bit too, so we talked a little bit, so that was all right, but it was pretty embarrassing.
So what are you going to do to prevent that? Are you going to move the targets up taller so you shoot over the fence? Or?
I just moved it farther toward me, 40, it's probably 45 yards now. So if I miss, it's going to hit the dirt before the fence. Cause it was set up so that if you shot to the right or left of the target, you're hitting that wire most likely. So I didn't. So be aware of your target and what's behind it. I guess I violated.
Man, if only there was a sign you could buy that had that on there.
It's funny. I have that sign hanging back there.
Can you put just some layers of plywood up against the fence or something? Just lean a board up against the fence, or
still shoot through it. I just gotta make sure I don't have targets that are shooting right at it, and I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. So, yeah, that was pretty fun. Not really. So, let's see here. I kind of planned out the shooting range a little bit different. These targets I sat a little farther over. There's some like concrete pads from old buildings over there. So I have to pull out some fence to like have a shooting lane that's continuous, but I think it's going to work out a lot better. And I was thinking I'm going to like weed kill the grass and everything, where, off the sides of those pads so that any brass will be highly visible. Cause it's like out in the back. It doesn't matter if it looks like, nice and mowed yard. I'm going to just have dirt so I can find my brass, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think, are you having an issue getting a sight line in there? I mean, cause I think a lot of those places, or a lot of those times, you can elevate your shooting position a little bit and get a lot more opportunities for target areas.
Yeah.
You said it a full sight line where you're going?
Yeah, it's a good sight line. Yeah, it's shooting down, down an incline. And then if I want to put targets in his field, which would be beyond 50 yards, all the way out to 300 yards, that's where the incline starts to increase. So it's kind of shooting down in a valley. And then if I want to shoot farther, it's going to be over the valley or, across the valley, but still with, natural berms even behind that. So it's a pretty good setup.
And so you can get out to 300 yards.
Yeah, I lasered it with a rangefinder. Yep.
Nice. That'd be cool. Is there a gate over there, or do you have to jump the fence to get over to? I got
to jump the fence. There's no really good way to get to it without like driving a mile around, or maybe, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
That would just be steel targets, and then you don't have to worry about.
Well, yeah.
Retrieving anything.
Yeah. So that was my thought. But I got out and shot some steel targets, so that's a win. In other news, I got this new trail camera. I was hoping I'd have it up, but it's called the Tacticam Reveal, and it works. You can get them on either Verizon or AT&T networks. So they're cellular camera, and they have plans starting at $5 a month. And then they have like, I think they have an unlimited plan too.
Do you have to buy its own plan, or do you add to your existing family plan?
No, it's own plan. Doesn't have anything to do with your cell plan at all. It's own plan through this Tacticam. But these have really good reviews and everything. I looked at cell trail cams on Amazon a few times, and they're like $200-$300, and like a lot of them don't have the greatest reviews, but this one's just $100. And these are at Cabela's and Bass Pro, at least online they are. I'm not sure they're in store. And they have really good reviews for the most part. So I'm like, shoot, I'm going to give this a shot. And it's mostly for security, but also for animals. But I figure I can put this a little farther up, my drive for OPSEC and stuff. But, I've always wanted to try a cell, game camera, because it gives you so much more flexibility versus, if you're going to use it for what I'm going to use it for versus a Ring, or any of the, wireless doorbell or security cameras. You got to have a Wi-Fi, network that reaches out to them. And, you get out here in the country and you get a little bit acreage, and that's really hard to do. So,
how's it powered?
Lots of AA batteries.
Lots of AA's. I might need some rechargeable.
12.
For that, then. 12 AA's. Holy cow.
So, I'll put that up, give you guys an update on how that works and everything. So,
God, I wonder how long 12 AA's lasts.
Hopefully more than a while.
Can you put rechargeables in it maybe? I don't know. That seems like it's a lot of batteries to go through if it's going to go through them fairly quick.
Guess I'll find out.
Yeah, you're going to find out. You have no power out there, do you?
No power, no nothing. So, I mean, I've seen like, solar kits for some cameras. I don't think this one has one. It's supposed to have exceptional battery life, it says on it. Exceptional battery life, antenna strength, image quality, trigger speed. The one downside I do see on it is you can't necessarily use it like a Ring where you bring it up on your phone and have a live view or trigger it or anything. It will upload thumbnail images either on a schedule or immediate, whatever you tell it to do. So to actually get the full res images, you still have to pop the SD card, and, do it that way.
Does it text message you the picture, or does it go to some internet service?
It goes to their app, and the app is supposed to be pretty good too. I looked up the app, and it's supposed to be pretty decent. So I don't know. I'm pretty interested in how it works, especially at a $100 price point, because all the other cell phone cameras or game cameras seem to be at least $200 to $300, if not more.
Yeah, see, I'm the glass half empty style of personality that says, okay, what's wrong with it that it's only $100?
Well, the more expensive ones don't seem to be any better in any way. So,
game cameras are tough. How far is it away from the house?
Well, I could put it a quarter mile away, or farther. I mean, our driveway is a half mile long. I could put it anywhere within that range. I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm going to try it at quarter mile or so.
And you have good Verizon signal there, I would assume?
Yeah, Verizon's not too bad right here. So, I mean, I've got, inside the shop, I've got a couple bars, but outside, I think I've got full bars. I can actually see the Verizon tower from here, so.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we have to keep us updated on how that goes. I got a new optic mount. So I feel like that every time I go shooting, it's mainly to sight in an optic for some reason. Like that's the 99% of the shooting I do is just sighting in, which is kind of, ridiculous. But, I bought those Scalarworks, whatever, those iron sights and the optic mount, before. Well, they finally got the aim point style mounts in stock, the Leap. So, I bought the 193 height, mount for the Holosun on my PWS gun. I've never had a 193 height mount before, and it's basically between a chin and a cheek weld. It's like right in that meaty spot above your jawline, for me at least, in my size head. But everybody raves about how comfortable they are and everything, and I've just never had one. So the other Scalarworks mount that I had was a RMR mount, and that was a 1.57 inch height. So this is 1.93. Definitely higher. So I got it all, put it all on there, moved the optic around on the mounts and got it all squared away. And so I went to go shoot that. And the one flaw I didn't think about with that high of a mount is my super expensive Knights Armament flip up sights flip up and they look right at the mount. So it's a no-co witness. So thankfully the Scalarworks mount is QD, just with hand, no tools or anything. You can, if that optic does fail, I can at least unscrew it and throw it off and go to irons. But I mean, in a life or death situation, that's probably not fast enough.
You just gotta train like you fight. You gotta throw that up, or quick detach it, throw it off, and use irons.
Yeah, maybe I will have to, but it is comfortable. It is good. And man, I brought out.
Can you drill a witness hole through?
Just bore right through it. Yeah. It's like right where the mount and the optic meet, like that meaty part of the top there. So it's like, oh geez, I didn't think of that, but okay. So I have that one, and then I did the big old optic shuffle again. I moved the, RMR, or the Holosun 507, the same one you have on your pistol. I put it on the M16 with those same irons. And I needed to go test that out. And cause I swapped barrels, I had my buddy Dan cut that barrel back so that the suppressor tucks right against the rail end. And so I wanted to reshoot that because it was a different barrel and it was going to shoot differently, and did that. And then I brought my Knights Armament out that has the ACOG on it. And, so I shot all three of them. And you know how the Knights Armament, before I bought it, I was saying, they say that this is like the softest shooting AR because of the round lugs and the proprietary gas system that is a smaller port, and it's supposed to be the softest shooting ever. I don't know if you remember me saying that, but I didn't really shoot the gun side by side to really get a feel for that. So it was interesting to shoot my 11-inch PWS gun with a suppressor on it. And, I put an H4 buffer in there. So that's the heaviest, well, not the heaviest, but one of the heavier buffers in it. Shooting that gun side by side with the Knights, the PWS actually shoots softer. It's insane. It's like a pussycat now. I can't believe how much different that buffer made that difference. So now, to be fair to the Knights, it's running, it's just bone stock, how it came from the manufacturer. I didn't change anything on it except for just add the suppressor to it. So I suppose I could take the H4 buffer out of that one and move it over to the Knights and see if it does the same thing. But I was pretty shocked at just how much softer that thing shoots than the Knights. The Knights is still soft, don't get me wrong, but it's not the softest ever by any stretch. So I shot all three of those. That was fun. It was a good time. They were all as far as I needed. I think I was shooting them into like a 3-inch target. And as long as I was in that 3-inch target, I was good that's good enough for me for a red dot, at 50 yards. Yeah. I don't need to go crazy, but, I took them home and I realized I haven't really cleaned these in a while. And so I detail stripped them, at least the bolts and everything. And man, they were so caked. You know, like when you work on a brake job on a car and like just you get that black sludge, or like when a car is leaking oil and you're working on it and you get that on the engine, that just black, that's what my hands were like, just cleaning the bolts and the bolt carriers on those uppers. I could not believe how dirty they had gotten, but, got them all cleaned up. So now I'm like, I don't want to shoot anymore because I just got them clean. I don't have to get them all dirty again. So I think I'm good for a while. So while not wanting to shoot them, and I don't have a ton of 5.56, I decided to try out for the first time my Mantis electronic trainer on the rifles. You know, the Mantis X10 system, it's like a little box you put on a pistol rail, and then it measures your trigger pulls on an app, and it tells you what you're doing wrong, and just rates your squeeze and all that. And I've been doing it with the pistol for, a while, and that was fine, but I never did it on a rifle, and I decided to throw it on the rifles, and it was pretty good, actually. It's kind of tiring dry firing a rifle because, you're holding it up the whole time. Makes you really feel weak when you can't hold it up for more than, 40 shots or whatever. But, it was really cool. There's actually AR settings in the app to account for that bolt. Cause sometimes if it didn't know that it was an AR, when you rack the bolt, it would probably count it as a shot too. But what was interesting with that training session, I just did it yesterday, was that my PWS gun has a JP trigger in it, which is a really nice short travel, short reset and everything. I was getting worse scores with that trigger compared to the mil-spec M16 trigger in the machine gun. That thing is like heavy. I have no idea why, but I don't know if it was just the way my body worked. Like I knew that I had to just pull heavy and hard to get it to break. And I did it fast enough that I wasn't shaking in the middle of it. I don't really know. But it was weird. And then the Knight's Armament was coming somewhere in the middle there because it's a 2-stage factory trigger there. And, it was really interesting. I would not have expected it to go that way. Yeah. And also the app's kind of cool. It tells you when you're shooting a rifle, like if you move your shooting shoulder forward at all, like you're going to anticipate the recoil. So you're shoring up your shoulder. It detects that in the app. That was kind of cool. And I was doing that a few times. So I just needed to learn how to pin it into the shoulder and just use my finger independently. But yeah, I guess I'm not the greatest rifle shooter offhand. I'm more of a bench shooter. So I need to practice more and dry fire more with that Mantis, system.
Yeah, that's a cool system. What's that run now?
I think it's $200. I don't know. I've got two of them. I got the original one, and then I've got the Elite. Yeah, I think they are. The X10 is, of course, not on Amazon. It is. Oh, the X10 Elite. The other one I have is $249.99. So that's a bit up there. Let's see what the other one is. I think they have a couple different versions now. Well, they've got like 3 different versions here. They have the Mantis X2, which is $99, X3, which is $169, and then X10 Elite is $249. I think I've got the X3 and the X10 is the 2 that I have. So, but it looks like I can get into it for $100.
It's not bad at all. Yeah, I should look into
it's only like 2 boxes of 9mm nowadays.
I did pick up, 1020 or a 22 caliber laser, a bore laser.
To sight stuff in without wasting ammo.
Right. Yeah. It was half price somewhere I got it. It was like, I don't know, wasn't much at all. I thought I'd try it out, see how it worked, see if it really saved me time or not.
Is it a cartridge one or is it one that goes in the muzzle?
I haven't unboxed it, but from what I remember, I think It goes in the chamber, and it's got, a string that goes to a battery unit or something because, it's so small.
Oh, yeah, for 22, it makes sense. We have all the regular pistol caliber ones. That's what we use at work to sight in red dots on the bench is the different caliber ones. They're like it's like a miniature bullet that you screw together to activate the battery, and then it just goes in the chamber.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
They work pretty good. Cool. What else you got going on over there?
Been looking at doing some projects here, and apparently there's a lumber shortage. If the ammo shortage wasn't enough and toilet paper shortage, there's apparently lumber shortage. Zach, normally, ballpark figure, what's a 2x4 cost normally?
Like $1.75.
They're probably a little more now. $2.15 maybe.
$2.50. Okay.
But yeah, somewhere around there, right? So guess what they cost now?
A regular 8-foot 2x4.
Regular 8-foot 2x4. I went to the local lumber yard and priced one out $8.40.
$8.40 for one?
For one. $8.40.
Oh my God.
And get this, if you want any green treated, you have to get on a waiting list. And it's even more.
This is what socialism brings.
I know. I guess all the dimensional lumber is just through the roof. Even plywood. I paid almost $10 a sheet more for plywood. I need to pick that up tomorrow, actually. But 3/4 inch plywood is just insanely expensive, but it didn't go up nearly as much as 2x4s percentage wise. I guess a big part of it is because of COVID and everything. They're running smaller crews, cutting the lumber and milling the lumber and all that. So it's just like, but yeah, I guess like it's a big kind of crisis because like people that had planned to build houses or sheds now, like they have to go and get everything re-estimated because everything is like, it can be as much as,
4 times
as much. Yeah.
That's insane. I cannot believe that. I read the headline. I didn't read the story, but I thought it was just because of the, everybody's home building houses and doing home remodels and stuff because they can't be out and about and they, just the housing market is crazy, but yeah, geez, that is crazy.
Yeah. So there's a couple projects I just can't do because I need a bunch of 2x4s for them. And like even my new room here, luckily I got the rooms framed out and everything. And I'm starting to get to the point where I can button those rooms up here in the shop. But I got this big, long, beautiful countertop and I don't think I have enough lumber to build a base for it. I might be able to scrape enough together, but I have another countertop in another room I have to do too, to do a base. And I'm like, it's like in the scheme of things, it's not that many 2x4s or that I need, or even 2x6s. Just don't have that much on hand. And like, I can't bring myself to spend $8.40 for a 2x4.
God, it'd be cheaper to buy cinder blocks and block it up from the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I've got these big 4x6s or 4x8s. They're massive. I use them to jack up some of the sagging spots in the house. But they're just for jacking purposes. So I like have these big timber type things that I could use at the corners, but like even to string those together to, make a structure for the counter. I'm like, I don't even know if I got enough to do that. So it's pretty frustrating.
I wonder if you could find anybody that does their own milling at home, like a rough sawn 2x4. We have a couple of those guys that do like live edge slabs and stuff. So they'll take, we're in a logging community up here too.
I bet you could out there. There's not trees here. That's a problem.
That's true.
There's cows here. There's not trees. So anyways, but other than, yeah. So in like the world of prepping, like who would have thought that having a couple pallets of 2x4s would have been the thing to do?
That's insane. We got to get off this COVID kicking. And I'm finding in the industry that COVID is being used as an excuse for a lot of things that just don't make sense anymore. Yeah. It's like, no, that's not right. You're just using that as an excuse now.
Yep. But other than that, I'm looking at prepping in other ways. And, as far as, the shop last year, I ran it on all wood. I had a wood stove here in the studio office, and then I had a great big wood stove in the main part of the shop. But man, that's just such a pain in the butt. Cutting the wood and really every day starting the fire and stoking the fire, and it just takes so much time.
It's
so
a job.
much time.
Yeah, it's a job and a half.
And so I already took the wood stove out of here, and so I got some of the vents in, looking at one right now. Hopefully get the rest of the vents in, and then I'm going with a forced air style house furnace for the shop here. And so it'll blow into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rooms here, and then the main like open garage area of the shop too. So it'll force air, and I'm going to get, I already have lined up 1,000-gallon LP tank for the shop and a separate 1,000 LP gallon tank for the house. And so I might hopefully put these next to each other so that I can also daisy chain them, like in the worst case scenario where I could potentially have 2,000 gallons for the house if I had to, worst case scenario, I'm thinking. And then I also have a generator. And then this year I also have a gravity fed diesel and gasoline farm tanks that are both, I think they're both 250 gallon or 300, something like that. So I should have enough fuel for the generator for quite a while too to run the electronics of the furnace if I had to, I'm thinking. So I don't know, that's kind of prepping. May never come to that, or if it does, it'll be an EMP, and then I can't run the furnace anyways, so who knows.
Well, is that gas and diesel, how long is that? The gas doesn't last that long, does it? Like, how much can you actually hold at a time? And
yeah, I mean, really the gas I should run through every year. Shouldn't have it longer than that. Some people say not even 6 months, but like my dad's tank down there, he's had it way more than a year before filling it, and it's been fine. But I got road diesel, so I can run the truck through it and the tractor. So it's not a farm diesel, or I'm restricted to only using it on the farm. So it's road diesel. I can use it, so I haven't even filled my truck at a gas station. I just fill it here. And then for the gas side, I'm going to try to empty it out by running it through the vehicles, next spring, and then get fresh gas in it. So we kind of do that every spring, get fresh gas and diesel in those. And
how do you fill them? If they're elevated, how do you get it up there and top them off?
They come with a truck and fill it up.
Oh, it's a service. This is like the LP tanks then. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they're I think they're 300 gallon, 250 or 300 gallon each. So like I couldn't ever fill them myself.
Yeah, so you'd be doing 5-gallon bucket or jugs, every jerry cans filling it up.
Yeah. So, and my generator runs off of LP too. But again, like people always, stock up on stuff like this. And I think the real worst case scenario you got to worry about is EMP taking out electronics. And I just don't. I mean, I guess I'm putting those wood stoves in the house if that happens. And then I've got all this LP and stuff I can't use. Of course, the gas and the diesel will still, actually I could still use all 3 fuel sources for things, because, I could run the grill on LP, and that's a cooking source. And in the stove in the house, so that would still work even with an EMP. So yeah, we'd have like unlimited cooking fuel, and then the diesel and gas you could use for, various things.
Why don't you just go hop the fence and get all those cow pies that are in the field and make those as your heating source?
Yeah, right. What, buffalo chips. Yeah, like the settlers did.
Yep, you're good. Unlimited.
So I don't know. That's all I had. Do you have anything else?
No, that's basically what I did this week. I got a bunch of money burning a hole in my pocket, so I got to see if I want to buy something. Brownell sent an email saying that the Mark 18 Daniel Defense uppers were back in stock, and I'm just like, that'd be good. But I'm really holding out for a factory SBR, so I don't have to put a secondary engraving on it. If I can just buy a factory SBR, then I don't. Right. I just keep that serial number as the registered number. But no, other than that, I'm done.
So now that you know what you know about selling tax stamped items, are you going to build differently or trust things differently now? Or
I'm going to be much more choosy on what I actually put into my name and do the tax stamps for.
Yeah. I could see that. So Patriot Patch makes this episode possible. No tax stamps needed for all the awesome patches at patriotpatch.co. Have some seasonal patches coming online here in the next couple months for Halloween, fall, and Christmas. And of course, the Patch of the Month Club. Check it out, patriotpatch.co. And if you need website design, graphic design, check out Ryan Cross at Hunter of Design. He does awesome artwork for anything you need. hunterofdesign.com. And Zach, where can people find what you're up to?
Just go to YouTube and type in Zach Carlson Writer and it'll come up.
Oh, come on. You're on Instagram too, right?
Oh, yeah. There you go, too. Same name.
Oh, yeah. You know, all those things. So you can send us feedback at gunguyradio@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows here on the Firearms Radio Network. That's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.